Well, it's 2025. The Tour de France is upon us. Dan Dowling, my partner in the cycling world and fellow comedian. Look at that. He's still rocking the LA hat, even though we both moved out of LA. Wow. LA strong. Dan, welcome.
What's
It's
going
time.
on? Partner, former lover.
Former.
Clayton Kershaw is pitching tonight, and he's going to hit 3,000 career strikeouts. So that's what I'm.
Oh, geez. So you're sticking with some LA loyalty, even though you and I both unceremoniously left the city.
Yeah, the Dodgers are the new people's team. I feel like so. And,
Oh, wow.
Actually, it's like there's no baseball here. For those of you keeping track, I'm in Bentonville, Arkansas. We have college. The big University of Arkansas team is quite popular, but we don't have any professional sports here. So everyone.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Something else.
So you went to Arkansas. I went to Chicago.
Yeah.
We both left LA. Anybody giving you shit for the LA hat?
We're both chasing beef, basically.
Is that right?
We need more red meat.
Yeah. Next podcast, we'll both have gained 35 pounds.
This is a Roman tri-tip. That's my other podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to have goals, you know?
Yeah.
Anybody giving you shit for the LA hat there?
No, although I don't rock it too much out in public. No. Everyone's strangely pretty chill. I don't know. Something Arkansas, I don't know, it almost has a weird Englishness to it where everyone's outwardly polite, and then I just think they judge you internally. So.
Oh, that's nice. You see, I miss those kinds of
like
days.
Texans.
I miss those kinds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want some shit talking when I'm not around.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how
Well, last time we talked, Dan, we were talking Giro.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to recap. Your man, Isaac Del Toro, blew the race.
Yeah.
You did a gravel race as well. So
gravel race.
Yep. So you've been pretty active. So have you gotten over the Del Toro loss? Because you were full on Pancho Villa claiming everything Mexico for a while there.
Well, I'm still representing Mexico. I mean,
right. Well, we saw the LA hat. Yes, you are representing Mexico.
Yeah, this is a proxy. Okay.
I'm going to call ICE on you, Dan. Take you out of here.
It's okay. No, ICE did stop me before, but I'm a white guy and I do a really good South African accent, so they just let me go.
Oh, wow.
I don't need to show ID at the airport.
Yeah. You didn't say you did impressions. You should have worked that into your act. All the stand-up shows we did. You didn't do one impression.
I'm just in from Johannesburg.
I was going to say you could pass for one of those like Spanish lightly complected dudes too.
Yeah.
You know, you could be from Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm a problematic Spaniard.
Yeah. So problematic, Dad.
Don't dig into that family tree.
So you got over the Del Toro loss?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it was sort of he wasn't supposed to be there anyways, right? I mean, he wasn't. They weren't going into the Giro, guys. You know, so it was sort of, you know, found themselves in a very lucky position. Although he has heaps of talent, but you know, a reminder that cycling is a lot more than just talent. It's having the strategic mindset too. Because I mean, how old is he? 20 years old or something? And,
I think he's 22. I think he's pretty young.
So yeah, learning experience, and I hope that he can be one of the next like top tier 21. It says one of the next top tier like actual GC guys. I don't know how UAE breaks down its training, but I suspect that they have certain strategic instruction for certain people on the team, and you know, maybe he's not quite in that group, but I don't know. Yeah, one wonders if he was getting the entirety of UAE's sort of GC strategic brain trust behind him during the Giro, because it was quite a flub at the end there.
Yeah, you're oddly philosophical about this. Like you're playing the youth card. They're like, hey, we weren't supposed to be here anyway. It sounds like you've like kind of come to peace with it or made full circle, because I talked to a lot of people who were just downright angry at how that ended.
stupid, but I'm like, if he was like, this guy came out and it's like, man, this was his last best chance to do it or something, and he'd been this crowd favorite, we've been around forever. But it's like, I remember seeing him like I think a year or two ago. I don't know if it was you or another buddy. I texted him like, wow, we got like a Mexican in the world tour. This is amazing. Like, I don't remember the last time we had someone at that level. Again, I'm totally representing Mexico, even though I'm not Mexican, but again, very excited about it. So, so yeah, for him to appear like this was pretty exciting. And then I'm just like, yeah, you know what? It's like there's only one Tade Pogacar. Like he's obviously not Tade, like who can just, oh, I fuck up and I'm gonna win anyways because I don't even need a team. But I think we'll see some good things out of Isaac Del Toro. Like he clearly hasn't. He doesn't even have his man body yet. You know, he's still like a little boy.
Yeah, very like boyish on the bike, very lanky, super leaned out and thin, and I was of course angry and disappointed how a great Giro ended that way. And the other sad part is it kind of took away from the just amazing ride that Sean Yates had.
Totally, yeah.
That was almost became a secondary story because we were just watching the stage like, what's going on exactly? Why are they riding like that? Like it was confusing that last stage. And then I don't know if we ever fully got an answer to what we were watching. And I still don't even know who to fully blame. Right. And I think I've settled on the management of UAE.
Yeah, that's what Chris Horner's big take was. But
yeah, it's like you have to advise the guy. Did he not have the? I didn't understand it. Maybe we never will. It's just one of those things. So
yeah, it's one of those anticlimactic Grand Tours.
It really was.
Like with not quite the level of what was it? Oh God, no, Bernal's tour victory.
Mm-hmm.
Like one on the short. Like the stage is over. Oh, I guess I won the tour, like that thing. Like
Bernal, I wanted something out of that Giro, and that didn't happen either.
Yeah,
well this year.
I can't believe he's still riding and racing. But
right. So maybe I was expecting a little too much. The guy came back from almost near death.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I want him detached from his body.
Yeah, and I want him to win Grand Tours, and he's in there, and I'm upset. So also, what we need to catch up on since we last spoke. You have become Dan Racer Dowling, and you've done some gravel racing. Tell us how that's going.
So I got over to Emporia, Kansas, a couple weeks ago into May for like I said, the gravel race, the big event, Unbound. Super interesting. I just did the 100-mile version, which was my first century in so long, first gravel century. It was taxing, to be sure. I mean, the real event is the 200-mile one, and I'd still love to do that someday. But that it really did jumpstart me on. I'm like, man, I need to do more structured training. I really need to cut my weight, and because I was hating life. It was a 10-hour day for me.
Oh wow!
Good, because I had to stop and like laid out at some park at some point. I was begging.
Oh, geez. No wonder you've gone radio silent on me the last month.
Yeah. So I was like, man, something's got to change here. So, but it was rad. Like it's crazy how for better or for worse, it's like this, it's a real legit race now. I mean, not that long ago, it was still the kind of race where, the winners would, Ted King used to be winning it. And, he talked about the leaders group. They'd be like, okay, let's just stop at this rest stop for a few minutes and then we'll get back to it. Like half sort of, group ride stopping for coffee, half race. And now it's everyone comes over a team, a bunch of Europeans. It was like no Americans on the podium this year. This guy from New Zealand won. They did a sub 9-hour time for over 200 miles of gravel. It's insane. Wow. I mean, there's this huge expo. It's sort of the new Sea Otter in terms of all the companies are there debuting their big gravel tech and all this stuff. So it was quite an event. And it's pretty cool because it's in the middle of Kansas, this fairly small city. But it kind of put the city on the map. And so everyone's very supportive of it. It's long, everything. Yeah. Full road closures, helicopters overhead. bunch of people out kind of cheering on. So it's a lot of fun. So
Cool thing is like we talk about American cycling being lacking in so many ways, but with like the internet and YouTube, like you can watch the race live on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, like I logged in, I was like, maybe I'll see Dan. I see Dan somewhere in here. But I'm like, well, let me check this out. Let me see what's going on here. And it's kind of a rudimentary feed, but you've got pretty good coverage to it. You know, like you don't have announcers, you don't have all these cameras, you don't have drones, but you've got a couple of cameras on there just to see what's going on, just to update you. And then you can sort of see what the terrain is that these guys are racing on, because you just say, okay, dirt roads, but what does that mean? You don't know.
Yeah.
So, and in some of like the crowd and the finish line looked really, really cool. And that you could capture in the video as well. So yeah, this is an odd time for American cycling or American racing, with like, what exactly are we offering to the cycling world as far as racing? And with gravel picking up so much in the last few years, maybe this is sort of the birth of something. Maybe it's still getting refined. I don't know.
I think it's going to get bigger. And the other thing to add to that is I've been watching, they're YouTubing a bunch of crits now too.
Yeah, I've watched those from time to time.
Those have been quite entertaining as well. So yeah, I feel like the U.S. cycling scene has decided, hey, I don't think we're going to be able to recreate the Tour de France here, but let's lean into what we've actually been really good at, and that's one, developing these gravel races, which is still number one. You know, everyone comes here. The Traca in Spain is maybe the only comparable gravel event, and then the crits too are like still very unique, I feel like. So, yeah.
Well, God bless America, because it's almost the 4th of July.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not here to talk about Giro and Dan's own racing ambitions. We're here to talk about the Tour. Damn it.
That's right.
Because this is our preview show of the Tour. The Tour starts July 5th. It almost seems like I've been waiting all year for this race, and all of a sudden it's right on you. Like, it's sort of like Christmas time. Like, wait, it's December 12th? Christmas is coming up? Oh, shit, am I ready? Let me start thinking about all the storylines. So I wrote down 10 questions for you, Dan. I want to throw at you. We can go back and forth on this. So, all right, question number 1. It's an obvious one, but here it is. Does Pogačar have any real competitors in this race? What do you think? Do you think this is a race that it's his to lose, or is somebody going to challenge him this year?
I think it's his to lose. I don't see any meaningful. I mean, Jonas is, going to do well, but I don't think Jonas is ever going to be back to the form he was at.
Well, take me through it. Give me an order. We got Pogačar as number 1, which I'm in agreement with you. Do you have Jonas a clear number 2, or is someone else in there?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I don't know. 3rd place in the Tour is always hard to predict, and honestly, I was thinking about it, but I'm like, that's one of those things that it could be a fight for between 5 guys who are like 7.
Oh, really? That deep, huh?
And it's so much is going to depend on. Tade is the only guy who has that consistency that you're like, he's not gonna depend on luck or other people making mistakes or being at the right place at the right time. By happenstance, he doesn't need that shit, right? Like, he's I'm
rewatching The Unchained, and I just forget how aggressive he is on stage 2.
Yeah.
And he did it this year too. Like, if we go through it, like, who challenged Pogačar this year? The answer is nobody. Like, there was a few little spots where somebody stayed on his wheel in the middle of the race. Somebody stayed on his wheel on the climb, but then lost him later. It's like nobody really challenged him. Like, what am I missing where anybody has a shot at him? I'm with you. It's him and Jonas. This is a 1-2 race, given no injuries and crashes and stuff. And what does 3rd even look like? Is 3rd place going to be a fun place to go for? Is 3rd place going to be like, yeah, I got 3rd, I'm just hanging on for 3rd?
Right.
I don't know. And do you think Remco is 3rd place capable again?
I don't know. Remco's been kind of hot or cold. I think it's gonna. I think for him, if luck's on his side, could like it's a reasonable pick. But
Yeah. Well, the one thing he's got going is the TT. And
yeah,
then the one thing that he's not got going for him is there are not a lot of TTs in this tour. So it doesn't fall too well. I have some thoughts on that later for his talents because we got the weirdest thing earlier in the month in the Dauphine where all three of these guys got to race against each other. I don't know the last time we saw something like that where the big three tour guys get to race before the tour in almost like this undercard, but it's the main event guys. And the result was, I think, everything we thought it would be. So I'm with you. I'm hoping this thing isn't over. I was going to say in the first mountain stage, but maybe even before that, because we know how aggressive Tade rides at times. Do you see him being honestly, super aggressive again?
I feel like he's getting a little bit more refined with his attacking. That said, he's also a showman a little bit and actually enjoys doing this. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, yeah, I'm going to try to do a 70K solo attack just because. But he does seem to be getting more and more surgical with it. And like, yeah, the whole thing, I don't even get out of the saddle anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah. In the saddle attack, we're like, oh God, just when we think we know everything that he will do, you're like, oh, I guess that's something new. Now no one can follow him.
Yeah. It's like he's getting so good at watching his opponents tire themselves out. And it's like, oh, now I can go.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, I need to attack, like, you know, he lets them sort of defeat themselves in a certain way or gives them some false hope. And yeah, he's getting better at those psychological games, I feel like. And honestly, for the lesser placings, I'm just hoping that there's some young guy who I don't even know,
right,
and sort of blossoms. And
so you're hoping for a tour revelation this year?
Yeah.
A young,
I think the sport's due for something.
It could very well be that kind of tour where the main result is wrapped up, and we're gonna have to look for those secondary stories.
Yeah.
Starting after the first rest day or something. It may happen. You know, like last year we had some great secondary stories with Cavendish and the small teams. And now this year I haven't heard a good one yet. Although if you listen to Chris Horner's YouTube show, he thinks there's like 10 different dark horses that can win this tour. He's giving out strategies. I'm like, I believe all these strategies. I know they're not going to happen, but they sound like they could happen. So there is a little bit of bias on our parts as the spectator. Like, I hope something good happens.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's part about being a viewer.
Right. And by good, I mean like someone actually does something, not like, oh, Tade, you know, freaking ends up in a ditch or something like that. Like,
yeah.
That's the worst. But
all right, well, sticking on that sort of thought, question number 2. The tour opens with a flat opening stage. Where do you stand on the tour's opening stage being a road race and flat? Do you like it? Do you long for the days of the prologue? Would you like a hard stage? Where do you stand on this year's start?
I like the prologue, a short time trial.
Yeah, me too. We're in agreement. Maybe it's me, old man Ramirez here, but I like a prologue.
Yeah, you remember when they, like, at some point too, in the height of the fixie craze, someone rolled up and did it on a fixie.
I kind of remember that would happen from time to time. Like there was a super short prologue, flat as an arrow, straight as an arrow, and somebody would do it fixed.
Yeah. Like, yeah, some of the guys, you know, it was just sort of the pageantry of the first day.
Yeah.
And then give someone, some rando or some cool, like, sprinter gets to be in the yellow jersey. Like, I don't remember, was it that one hill? I don't remember if it was a tour or not. It was Sagan and Cancellara at a short time trial and descending like madmen. It was basically a short time trial up a hill, and then they came back down, and both of them were descending like madmen. I forget who won. I don't remember the tour, but like those weird little punchy prologue time trials where a non-time trial specialist gets to win it.
Yeah. I like that too. I when I first started watching the tour, I just remember I liked the prologue because someone who's good at TTs would win. But then the next couple stages would be flat, and sprinters would get time bonuses and stuff. And you had the opportunity to have the jersey kind of change hands a couple of times over. And then the sprinter would be decked out in all yellow because you knew they were going to keep it. So
Yeah.
I did kind of like that. So tomorrow's or the first stage just being completely fat, one for the sprinters. It'll be fun. I'm really nervous watching stages like that where so many people want something to happen. They want to stay out of trouble. Sprinters want to be in the front. I just hope there's not a crash and somebody significant gets taken out because we've seen that too. I remember in the mid 2000s, Tyler Hamilton went out like on the third day. Levi Leipheimer went out like on the second day. And you're just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, the early days of the tour, that's right. We always get some, that's when the big crashes tend to happen, and especially on a sprint stage. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, Cavendish had some glorious crashes on early sprint stages in the tour as well.
Yeah, well,
it's an opening stage flat sprinters for stage one. Question number 3. I hinted at it a little bit already. The time trials. There's a 33K time trial on stage 5. It's all flat. Then this is one I'm not sure if I'm not sure if Cycling News or whatever printed this right. The stage 13 has a 10-kilometer time trial as well. 10K? Double check me on this, Dan, because I'm like, is this a mountain time trial? Well, let me look at the profile. That doesn't look uphill. So
yeah, Tour de France website, 10.9 kilometers.
Right. Look at the profile. That's flattish, right?
Well, it says, I don't know if I'm reading this right. No, it's about, flat. No, there's a climb. It's about 650 meters, 600 meters of climbing. So that's what? About 12. I mean, it's not,
how dare you ask me to convert meters to feet on my own show, Dan?
I think that's like, that is, it's almost 2,000 feet over 6 miles. So that's
okay. So this is on the uphill side. 10.9K though. Are you okay with that distance?
It's an interesting proposition though, with that much climbing, I guess.
2,000 feet and 10.9K. That's like 7 miles.
Yeah, for me, that's an insane amount of climbing.
Okay, so that sounds hard.
Yeah.
So 2 time trials in the tour total, 1 flat, 1 uphill. Where do you stand on time trials in the tour? Should we bring them back?
I like them I like them in the final days of the tour. I think those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do like things like this where they're like a quirky time trial where it's like, okay, what are you going to do for this relatively short time trial that nonetheless seems to be a pure uphill slog?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you going to warm up for that? What kind of bike are you going to use? So it is sort of an interesting strategic proposition. So, but yeah, for me, the time trials are interesting when, those last handful of riders are actually, when something serious can happen with the GC, that's when they're the most fun. Versus, okay, is some specialist that's going to take the win and the GC guys are just going to be conservative, or Tade is already going to be so far ahead at that point, it's not even fun.
Yeah, it's interesting that time trial, especially in that third week, when the specialists want to get a win in the time trial. So that means they start tanking the stages before the time trial, meaning, why am I going hard? I'm going for the time trial 2 days from now.
Right.
So you're like, okay, of the GC guys who are riding hard every day, how did they do versus the guys who are specialists, the Stefan Kungs and stuff like that? Like, it makes for an interesting dynamic that I never really considered 10 years ago. I just thought in the tour, everybody tries hard, everybody's the same amount of tired. But the strategy just getting to the time trial is another thing to consider. Makes it fun. Maybe it's that third week storyline that we're going to have to glob onto going forward. So time trial, I might like one more in this tour, and I wouldn't mind some length on these time trials. Like 33K is a pretty long time trial by these days standards.
Right.
But we used to see 50K time trials a lot.
Yeah.
So That I wouldn't mind seeing. I just love the way it separates the contenders in real time. Like there's no, this guy came out of the draft. This guy took the corners. Like it is just straight who went the fastest. And then secondly, looking at the route, we don't get our first mountain stage till stage 10 this year. We got a lot of choppy ones, which has become the way Grand Tours happen these days. But stage 10, and it ends with a Cat 2 climb. So where do you think ideally that first mountain stage should happen in a Grand Tour?
I actually think that's about right because
Oh, you like stage 10, so a week and a few days.
yeah, I
Okay.
like just so I actually like there to be um some of the punchy stuff the first week. Like after this our discussion here, now I'm a little worried about the pancake flat stage one spinner stage. I like to get people. I like to see the peloton ease into the race a little bit and have some stages that are going to have some natural separation. So some of the punchy stuff the first week, and then it gives it's like we like it when an Alaphilippe type gets to wear the jersey
Yeah.
for 9 days or something. I'm okay holding off on some of that mountain stuff because I mean it's gonna happen, right? As soon as
Yeah.
you hit the mountains, like more like
It's really a countdown.
have a
Once we
huge
get
gap.
like, yeah, once we get those like into 5 or 6 days into the tour, we're counting down the stages to that mountain stage. We're like, okay, we're 2 days away, 1 day away. Okay, here it comes. Like we start getting that in our head. When
Yeah.
is the mountains? Where are the mountains?
Totally. Yeah, and it's something to kind of look forward to, I feel too. Gives you some time to figure out who's all in the race and all that stuff. Get a sense of what teams are looking pretty good. Some other points of separation that aren't just the skinny guys throwing down crazy watts.
Yeah.
I love a good crosswind stage, like.
Oh yes. Yeah. That always is a great monkey wrench that the tour like is secretly like, rubbing their hands when that happens.
They've got there's some contingencies. They always get crosswinds in there.
Like that's one of the best days for like post-race drama too. Like people finish those those stages pissed off, angry at teammates, angry at non-teammates.
Yeah.
Mad at stuff. Like remember, I don't know, did you watch the women's tour a couple years ago where they all stopped to pee and then one team kept going and they were all pissed. They're like, hey, what the hell? Great stuff. Great stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that.
Along those lines with the mountain stage, when you're thinking of storylines, because I remember this in the Lance era, they'd get to the Alps and he would kill everybody. So now he's got like 5-minute lead. And then the announcers would go like, well, we still got the Pyrenees coming, and that's a very different mountain range. It's like, it's still uphill. He's still going to kill everybody. And then the next year they'd flip it. They're like, okay, he killed everybody in the Pyrenees, but the Alps are coming up. Jan Ulrich is good in the Alps. I'm like, no, he's not. So when is an uphill road any different?
Yeah, totally.
I remember that. All right, well, continuing on. Question number 4, Dan Dowling, as simple as you can make it. Does Jonas have a plan for this tour? Is there any making a plan?
I don't know.
Other than the usual stuff, stay out of trouble, be fresh.
I mean, I feel like this is the same answer I've given the last 2 years, which is hope that it gets really hot in the mountains again. But I don't even know if Tade's probably done more heat training now, so it's probably not even a problem for him anymore. But like, that's about it. I mean, I think Tade's plan is to keep. I think Jonas's plan is to keep Tade under the microscope and look for any potential vulnerability.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right?
I don't think you can be like, all right, let's do it, man. Mano a mano. I'm going to attack and try to outpower you. It's like, no, you're not going to be able to.
I should have thrown this at you earlier, but who's your movie character comp for Tade, Jonas, and Remco? I did a little thinking on it. I'm going to tell you who I think.
Oh man,
Tade is. I'm down to 2. Tade's movie comp is either Ivan Drago from Rocky IV or the T-1000 from Terminator 2 Jonas is the accountant, is the Ben Affleck accountant. Doesn't
Oh,
speak a lot, might have a mental illness, very calculating, very analytical. And Remco is Rambo from Rambo 2.
so these have to be characters, not just the actors. I see.
Yes, they have to be
Um,
carried. Yes. Don't make a mockery of this, Dan.
so I'm gonna put Remco is. Did you ever watch the After Party series, which was on Apple TV? I want to say.
No, I didn't see that one.
Great bunch of comics and improvisers in there. But he's gonna be whatever James Franco's younger brother.
Oh,
The
yeah. What's
lesser
that guy's
Franco.
name? I know who that is.
Yeah, kind of this
He kind of
goofy.
looks like him, too.
Yeah, that's Remco. Jonas is God, I'm going to look at the guy's name. This was another series though. I've been watching a lot of series
Hmm.
from the remake of the Day of the Jackal series. Eddie Redmayne, because he looks like
Interesting.
Eddie Redmayne,
Wow, these are deep cuts.
and he is very cold blooded
Hmm.
in that series. Very calculating and cold blooded, but as I think we learn, has some true vulnerabilities.
Hmm.
And Tade is going to be Method Man's character from Belly.
Whoa.
That is a deep cut.
Interesting. Deep cut. Theatrical at the end.
If you don't remember, if you've ever seen Belly,
Been a while.
Method Man plays a hitman, but he's able to infiltrate kind of the gangs he needs to, or he needs to hit people off by playing a fool. He's like a clown. He's just
Oh,
like a funny
really?
guy, like he acts dumb, and then when he gets close to the people he needs to get, he turns into this killer.
Hmm. Well,
And
I would love to see a Pogacar rope-a-dope in this year's tour. You know, kind of a stage where like, oh, Pogacar's at the back, and then all of a sudden, bam.
well, it seemed like he might have been previewing that a little bit, the Dauphiné in that time trial, right?
Right, that's true. We didn't talk too much about that time trial, that surprise time trial where
Yeah.
Pogacar oddly lost a significant amount of time, like definitely not amount of time that we would think he was capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe your prediction's right. I like that.
So
Wow. All right, next
I'm
question.
proud of my Method Man belly reference.
Deep.
Good on this podcast.
Off the cuff, too. All right, next question. Wout van Aert, ultimate teammate in this tour or out for himself? What do you think? Because we've seen, it's odd, we've seen both versions of Wout. He has definitely sacrificed himself for the team, and he has definitely wanted stages for himself. We saw it earlier this year, and then we saw it in, what was it, the Giro? I forgot what it was, but he was ultimate teammate. So who do you think we're going to get? This is the tour.
I think for the tour, he will be teammate first, and Wout the star second. I think he has enough discipline and maturity to do that. At the same time, I think him and the rest of the team understand that part of his value to the team is being Wout van Aert and not just being the domestique. I mean, his success, I didn't watch it, but I think he's a Nike team athlete now, or I don't know if the whole of this.
Yeah, Nike's getting into cycling now.
So like him being Wout is very good for their team, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
keeps their jersey on the map. Like he's one of the cyclists that more casual fans know. So you don't want him to be fading in the background too much and just doing lead outs and covering attacks. Like you want to see him, being exciting and animating the race.
Yeah, it's almost like Visma has just an embarrassment of riches. Like, yeah, Jonas is going to ride great, but hey, what if we got some exciting wins from Wout too?
Exactly.
That would, we would love to see that. And if he can do both, then
honestly,
and he can.
Keeps the money coming in, and that's ultimate. Like in the long run, if Jonas is going to be a long-term part of that team, they need that. So,
do you think Wout wins the stage in the tour?
Man, I don't know. I want him to, but this year has been tough.
Yeah, he had the slow start to the year. He had that horrendous race where Remco beats him in the sprint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he wins the stage. It doesn't make any sense that a tour goes on without him winning a stage. Don't you think?
I think you're right. He does seem to be one of those guys that something special turns on for the tour for him.
Mm-hmm. By the way, do we know why Jonas wears a red helmet? Do you know the answer to that? Is this one of those things that I'm just never gonna know? It's just accepted.
Oh, I don't know. Does he have a special sponsor or something?
Maybe that's it,
It's
but
gotta be. These helmet sponsors are just crazy.
I thought like, okay, he's Danish. Maybe he's the Danish champ or something. It's like, but he doesn't wear a jersey. I mean, you would wear the Danish national champ jersey.
Yeah.
Why does he have a red helmet? And then
Maybe
I
watch.
thought, I don't know how closely you follow women's cycling, but the American rider Chloe Dygart wears essentially cycling hot pants where her shorts are super duper high on her leg. And I can't find anything online as to why.
Oh.
I've looked it up and now I'm convinced she's doing it on purpose.
Oh, showing a little leg for the
Showing leg, not telling us why.
the tennis star thing. Yeah.
Just maybe we'll never know. So
Oh, I did look at Jonas. Is actually he did ink the. He's got it. He's officially a Clamato rider. He's riding. For
oh wow, Clamato.
luck.
You know what? Where do you stand on Clamato? Would you make a Bloody Mary with Clamato, or you have to be homemade?
Hey man, I'm Mexican.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. With Clamato. No, I mean I don't even mess with the Bloody Mary. I just put it right in my beer. Put it right.
Oh, you go for the Minchelada.
Yeah, Michelada. Yeah.
That's a little tip from your Uncle Pat, or Tio Pat, as it's said.
Shrimp
In the
tastes
vernacular.
best coated in a beer Clamato.
Leave it to Mexicans to really take one step further. Totally unnecessary. Hey, here's a beer. What else can we do to it? Let's dump Clamato in it.
Seafood.
Hey, that's great. Hey, here's a donut. How can we make it more unhealthy? Let's pour sugar on it and call it a churro. Hey, great.
Twice. Yeah.
Great. How's that space program coming, Mexico? No, we're going to stick to churros and micheladas. Call us later. Don't worry, I'll cut all this out. Next question.
Hey man, if we get deported, I just want it to be to Mexico.
Hold on, ICE is in the waiting room of my Zoom here. I'll let him in.
Just tell him I'm from Puerto Vallarta. That's where I come from. So
oh yeah, nice.
There.
Perfect. All right, next question. Enough shenanigans. All right. Do you think the tour needs a makeover? And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by this. I've been watching the tour for 20 something years. It always goes opening stages, preludes, flattish, rolling, mountains, separation, a time trial, Champs-Élysées. Great. What about something if we change the order of it? And here's the idea I had. What about a night stage in the tour? Like we need to innovate here. Like we did a little dabbling with the last stage being like in the evening hours.
Yeah,
that one year. Yeah. So what about a night stage? Get some lighting, maybe use the racetrack like they use sometimes. Started at 6 p.m., whatever. Nighttime racing under the lights.
No, this is what I want, Patrick. A nighttime prologue.
That could work.
Prologue, time trial, some sort of circuit, but through a city or something. Kind of combining that night crit scene, but make it freaking streets of Vienna or something. Just picturesque European cities.
And I will piggyback on that. And no, like we're gonna start it at 6 p.m. and by the time we get to the late riders, it'll be nighttime. No, I'm saying start this baby at 8 p.m. And we're going till 2 in the morning when the bars close.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep it a short TT. But these guys are going to be up late. And then, they're going to need their little... They get to
okay, so you're with me on nighttime racing could be a thing.
Totally.
Okay. Any other ideas? What do you think about the idea of a tour makeover in general?
Like everyone gets BBLs, like that kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, not where I was going, but no bad ideas in a brainstorm.
I mean,
chicks. What about just chicks?
I do like.
Or is the tour something that should not be messed with?
I mean, certain things like shouldn't be messed with, but it would be nice to have some funner parts of like some nod to the old school would be kind of cool. And like, did you ever watch that? There was a old documentary, I think from the 70s on the Giro called like something, and it talks about the water boys of the Giro.
Hmm.
and it would these guys, the domestiques racing through the Italian countryside, and they would stop at shops and grab a bunch of sodas from them. They're like, "Oh, you don't have to pay. You're racing the Giro."
Oh,
And they'd
wow.
go and they would be like, snapping the bottle caps with their teeth and giving it to their teammates and all that stuff. Um, yeah, it'd be cool to have like a weird like self-supported stage or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm with you. Kind
It
of
kind
like
of
a, yeah, like a homage to just the adventure
Yeah,
aspect.
like having a little adventurism in it would be kind of cool.
Or what if the riders were responsible for not only doing the stage, finishing the stage, but getting themselves to the start of the stage the next day?
That would be
Like they got to drive themselves or they got to get on a bus or the lower budget teams got to figure out how to get a ride from another team.
yeah,
So it could be like an Airbnb of the tour, you know?
yeah.
But maybe that's turning into a little bit of like the Amazing Race type of idea, but I'm thinking makeover. How can we make this a little more interesting?
Checkpoint race. We do a checkpoint race.
Yeah, that's true.
One route.
Okay.
But yeah, all of these. So I think we could actually make the nighttime thing work. The rest of
Right.
them,
Like that was my one realistic suggestion. Yeah, it's like nighttime race could happen. Maybe even like those hilly cities that aren't mountains, but they're hilly. That meaning we could get lights on them. Like you couldn't really illuminate a mountain, but you could illuminate these city streets. That could be cool.
are they doing walkout music for time trials yet?
No, that's walkout music. I like that. They walkout music. I've been going. I have a little nephew, and I've been going to his baseball games. They have walkout music for these 10-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. My nephews, yeah, they have it too. It's insane.
It's really great when like one of them comes out to like some pretty hardcore rap, and then the kid
Yeah.
strikes out on 3 straight pitches. So I almost say like there should be strike out music too. Like
Yeah.
you strike out, like your ass is getting played off with the same song you thought you were tough to. Get out of here.
It's all Nickelback from here on out.
All right, next question. Best one yet. Is there any scenario in this tour where we might see another Del Toro Carapaz turf war in this tour? Are these guys too much professionals and competitors to have something that petty happen? Like, I think last year the closest we got to it was Remco saying he had big balls, or Jonas had no balls, or someone had one ball. I can't remember, but could we have a little petty turf war in this tour?
I mean, if they do, it's going to be meaningless. Okay. Well, I have two-part question. On GC side, if they do, it's going to be meaningless because unless you're actually challenging Tade, who gives a shit? And you're not. So, and Tade's not going to start anything. Like, if Tade feels slighted, he's just going to make you pay the next day, I think. It's going to make you look even more foolish. Where I want it, because this is actually something I was going to bring up with you. This is what I'm missing. We have some great sprinters in the field, really impressive, but we don't have those. We don't have where's our bad boys,
Yeah, good point. Who's our sprinters? Like sprinters are usually, or bad boys are usually sprinters. Who's our sprinters this year? God, I don't even know. I didn't even dive into sprinters.
Milan,
Jasper, okay.
Renee, who's kind of more of the flexible sprinter type, kind of that Wout van Aert class. But yeah, where's Cavendish getting all pissed off at everybody? And
yeah.
No one throws their bike anymore,
That's right. Yeah. And also, we haven't talked once about Vanderpool.
Oh, yeah.
Is he racing? Do we know?
He is. Vanderpool seems to the opposite of Wout van Aert a little bit in the tour. Like, he seems to be, I'm cool being in the background. I'm going to lead out Jasper Phillips.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, he oddly takes July off. If you can take the tour off, but yet still ride it.
He gets his one days. He loves them. And then unless there's maybe a stage he's really targeting, I think he's just going to be Mr. Lead Out for Jasper Phillips.
If there's any sort of turf war beef, I would not be surprised if Remco's involved, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, he's the most hot-headed of our GCers.
He's getting a little less, I think, as he's realized. I'm not, Well,
I don't know. You should. Well, it was a year ago. You should watch a couple of the Unchained episodes. He's a little bit of a wild man behind the wheel of a car.
Oh, really?
I think it's worth a watch. So that was a year ago, though. You have to remind yourself, like, this is last year, not this year.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, next question. Here's my most important question. Off the bike this year in the tour, what are you expecting from all the tour media? I'm talking, what are you expecting or hoping for from Lance and his podcast, Chris Horner, the Lantan Rouge podcast, Bob Roll? What are we expecting from Bob Roll this year? Which, by the way, I think the Dauphine was on Peacock, and I think they actually had Bob Roll and Van de Velde in the same room this time because they weren't talking over each other. There wasn't the delay. Or maybe the connection was better, but it was better. Let me give them that.
All right.
So take me through it. Where do you consume your media post-tour?
So I do love watching Chris Horner. I love his recaps. At the same time, it's so funny to me that Horner will never admit any sort of missteps on his part or misjudgment. You know, he'll call out people in the comments that says, well, you said this and this happened. Well, no, I didn't actually say that because I meant this. As you can see, like I was right.
He's a comment reader. You're right.
He's so competitive about everything. It's insane. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's funny and actually he can be pretty insightful on a lot of things. So I think he'll continue to be his wacky thing. So you can do a drink, count how many times he says sitting on the Chesterfield.
Yeah. And, you know, I didn't really know what a Chesterfield was until
it's a very old reference. It's
I was like, what? Oh, that's an easy chair? That's a
it's sofa or whatever. And it's for Packer automobiles or something. Mm-hmm. So the Van de Velde Bob Roll stuff. I love Christian Van de Velde actually. And I actually just hope that we get a lot more of him doing commentary on the tour. I
feel like Van de Velde is an underutilized talent. I feel like he's being wasted with Bob Roll.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm fine with Bob Roll and I don't know if Phil Liggett's still going to be chiming in at all on anything.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot about him. He doesn't do the whole thing anymore.
I actually really like. I watch the GCN recaps. I tend to prefer some of the Aussies and English commentary. I love me a good Sean Kelly.
He's excellent.
Half of what he's saying through that accent, but it's fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
I hope he cusses on air again.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
When he what was it? AG2R or something. He said, "Oh, they've got those shit brown shorts."
Well, we said we wanted a bad boy. Maybe it's going to be in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, we just bring back Sean Kelly.
Yeah, definitely. What's the over-under on Christian Van de Velde saying something completely normal and docile, and Bob Roll laughs his head off?
100%. I mean,
would you go over 35 for the tour? Over under 35? Because I think I might go over. It's like, Bob, he's gonna really need a shower after this stage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is Bob Roll laughing at?
I've never been into hallucinogenics, but I understand you do them once and you can get flashbacks from
Bob Roll. What if we find out Bob Roll is part of the LSD experiments in the 60s?
No, absolutely.
Not surprising me.
If Bob Roll wasn't a cyclist, he would have been an MLB pitcher, just high out of his mind on the mound.
Wow.
Not remembering shutouts and that kind of stuff.
Well, I think this is an important year for the Lance podcast. Because remember last year they were on Peacock, certain stages. George Hincapie has that new cycling team that he has started that is being unveiled like day by day. And I definitely think Lance wants back into the sport. As much as he says he doesn't, I think he wants back in somehow.
Oh, absolutely he wants back in.
Yeah, and I think this is a big one for his show this year. They do it right every year, even though there's about 6.5 minutes of ads just to start the show. But I'm okay with that. It's free content. I can fast forward through it. So I think this is big. They're going to get the great guests. So I think this is a big year, and I think it can draw in a lot of cycling fans. If we have a great tour, they have great guests, I think his show grows even more this year. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
All right,
Dan.
maybe I'll have to get on the back on the Lance train. I've been avoiding him, but
So you don't usually listen to his
no,
daily recap.
I don't.
Interesting.
I stick to Horner and GCN.
Were you a Lance fan at the height of his Lanceness?
Yeah, totally. I rode with him in Griffith Park. I told you.
Is
about
that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I was interviewed on the news, KCAL9 at the Encino Velodrome, when it came out again before Oprah. The allegations resurfaced, and they're like, "We would talk to cyclists," and I was like, he's retired. You just wanted them to leave him alone. Yeah,
Wow. Hey, I didn't know this. We got to find that clip, Dan.
Total leave Brittany alone, leave Lance alone. Apology.
Right, maybe the same era. We got to find that clip. Wow. Yeah. All right. Next question. What's your purchasing like during the tour? And what I mean is, like, all these companies run specials and new product comes out right before the tour. Oakley, the helmet manufacturer, Specialized, put out like a $700 shoe. Do you buy more cycling shit during the tour, getting motivated, like watching them ride and be like, okay, I want to get something. This looks cool. Or do you go the opposite direction? Do you find yourself buying tour stuff?
No, I am not susceptible to the cycling stuff, but these sponsors get me every time. I can't tell you how much Dutch drywall I've purchased. And then a motorhome. I've got a walk-in shower specifically for seniors, and for only works in France for motorhoming.
Is that right?
That's all I.
Wow, you got a senior shower.
You get me, yeah.
So you sit in the shower.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what?
Well, it's like a walk-in bath. See, I can't get over there.
Oh, with the door?
Right.
Like the little sidecar door?
Right. You can wash Granny in there. Yeah.
Well, you can wash Granny. I thought that was good for them so they could sit. I didn't know someone washes them. Wow, like a cat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I will never sitting down in the shower sounds ridiculous to me, but I am not going to knock it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because someone told me a million years ago that they brush their teeth in the shower. And I was like, what? You brush your teeth in the shower? And they said, yeah, try it. And 25 years later, Dan, I always brush my teeth in the shower. So
it does somehow feel so liberating. You're like, yeah, I can keep my mouth open while I do this. Dribble.
Yeah, down. You won't get any toothpaste on your shirt. You can fully rinse off your face.
On the chest is kind of invigorating. Right?
Yeah, so maybe sitting down in the shower is something that I could start doing.
Yeah.
All right.
I am going to buy one of those $250,000 watches, though, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know what I have found myself buying over the years is new sunglasses, like the Tour Edition Oakleys.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm too cheap. I have too much of my dad in me. I'm too cheap. I'll buy last year's tour glasses at the discounted rate, and then a year will go by, and then I'll buy last year's tour glasses at the discounted rate. So now, I'm up to 2022 glasses model year right now.
Just keep them because they're going to come back. They're going to recycle. They're going to get retrified. And
yeah.
You'll be like, hey, I'm ahead of the trend here. I got the new.
Well, I went on a group ride, and this subject came up, and I told the guy, hey, you got some Oakleys? I got Oakleys too. It's like, well, I bought these a couple years after the tour, so I got a deal out of them. And he goes, oh, you bought those a couple years after just to get a deal? Check these out. And he pulls off his Oakleys, Fortnite edition, on sale, $99.
Nice.
I was like, you bought the Fortnite edition? He's like, I'll buy any Oakley that's on sale. I was like, okay, good. It's not just me. And then another guy pulled his off. I forgot which version he had. Oh, he had the Troy Lee design glasses. It was like, check it out, Troy Lee. Yeah, on a road ride. And they were the nice Oakleys, just with the little Troy Lee stamped on it. It was like, okay, I'm not alone here. These Oakleys are ridiculously expensive. I got to buy these on sale.
Those down-to-earth Midwesterners.
Troy Lee design. Fortnite edition. All right. We talked about purchasing. I told you I watched Unchained, just an episode and a half. And I just want to tell you my quick thoughts. I know you haven't seen it yet. Number one, what if I was to tell you for episode 1, the focus of episode 1 was the Archaea team? What are we doing? This is why your ass got canceled, Unchained.
Yeah, I'm like, what even? Who that? Whose team is that again?
I don't
Does
know.
this still exist?
I don't know. They lucked out because remember the guy last year won a stage,
Oh,
Arkea. But I was like, who pitched this idea?
yeah, starting strong.
Yeah. And then they do the whole thing was like, yeah, we don't have the budget like UAE does. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That is that is obvious. All right, second thought to it. I guess we forgot how horrific the Jonas crash was last year. He was saying he punctured both his lungs, he's spitting out blood, and he couldn't breathe in the ambulance. I was like, did Jonas almost die last year? Did I forget that it was that bad? And then he was training and then he was second place in the tour.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. No, it was yeah, I mean that for a lot of people they would have I think stopped at that point, but it
Yeah.
was an insane injury.
It's always funny too when the cyclists are in the team bus and the manager's like telling them like, okay, pay attention to the stage this year. It's going to have a good stage. And they kind of, they stand next to the cyclist, give them a pat on the back, and you see how truly tiny these cyclists are. Like Jonas comes up like chest high to this guy,
Yeah,
and you're like, this is why they crash and their bodies completely fall apart. Is they are
right.
so frail. So
Totally.
I forgot about that. I think you'll see this after you watch an episode or so. Is Pogacar a shit talker, or is this a language barrier? Because he's like, hey Jonas, he have good race today, but I feel like I still win easy. I'm like, whoa. Shit talker Tade. Does this surprise you?
A little bit. I feel like he's definitely gotten more confident over the years,
Yeah.
but
This
I
is
don't
why
know if
this
he's
surprised me in this episode in his episodes.
although I wouldn't be surprised knowing reality TV if they're, you know, doing selective editing just to try to heighten the drama because
That's true.
it is hard to, you want the ace to be a little bit unlikable, right? But
Hmm. Are you going to be sad when we don't have Unchained next year?
what do you mean it's not coming back?
Yeah, they didn't renew it. This is its
Yeah.
final season.
Um,
Maybe following Arkea team had something to do with that.
I guess so, but I don't know. The format is just okay, so maybe someone will actually come up with something a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like something a little more refined or something tweaked a little bit because it's there. Like it really grips you. It's really interesting. It's hard. The translating is hard. The voiceover is a little weird, but it's there. Like it's so compelling. The behind the scene footage is the best part. It's unbelievable. We can see in the bus, in the team car, in the hotels. Like it's great. We get to see the hotels they stay in. I'm always like, are these nice hotels they stay in? Are these average? Like, what's the lifestyle like? That's so great. But yeah, I'm with you. I feel like there's an idea there, and something should come back for next year. I don't know what. I mean, in my own selfish mind, I want something on the American side, but I don't know what.
Well, I will say there's this is more of a shout out for new media stuff. The Red Bull YouTube channel is freaking rad, and they do a lot of more fringe mountain biking events, urban downhill stuff in
Hmm.
Latin America. They have a whole series about BMX in Nigeria. So it's really cool stuff.
BMX in Nigeria.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really coming together.
Well,
Uh,
that interesting. You led me into my final thought. When did Red Bull become Google level of finances?
I don't.
Re-
Yeah, it's
Red
insane.
Bull just makes that shitty drink, right? Who's buying
Yeah,
all these drinks?
they've locked into the distribution network. I mean, Coca-Cola makes a shitty drink too, right? They're like,
I guess you're right. You make a good point.
I
Good
mean,
point, Counterpunch, Dowling.
I mean,
It's unbelievable.
yeah.
They're sponsoring the professional cycling team, but they're also sponsoring airplanes, doing
Yeah.
aerial stunts. They're sponsoring mountain bike events. They're sponsoring guys jumping out of airplanes from space. When did Red Bull just have unlimitless funds?
Well, think about it this way. Even the best mountain biker, how much is that guy making versus whatever? There's a closer for the Dodgers who I think signed I don't know how many years, but a $72 million year. Just
Hmm.
be the closer, not even a starter. He's a really good closer. That's $72 million.
Sheesh.
Like Red Bull their entire cycling budget is probably less than $72 million, right? So they are picking sports where I think you can get a lot for your money.
Hmm. Wow, who knew this would turn into a financial strategy
I say.
YouTube show? Yeah, you're right. Like, who is on their salary?
Right.
Okay, probably the cycling team is probably paying some big salaries. They have other sponsors too. But to take on a mountain bike event in the desert probably isn't that big of an undertaking, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, they got to really throw some money at it, but like at the end of the day.
Are they doing race cars or probably not F1 stuff?
No, they are. They do sponsor an F1 team.
Oh, okay. So maybe they do have deep pockets.
Or not, but that's probably their biggest thing. But honestly, come on, Tech Bros and Red Bull, that is a huge investment for them.
I remember when Red Bull came out, no one liked it, and yet Red Bull stuck to their guns.
Yeah, no, they got into the clubs. Yeah,
they're like, we're here to stay. Remember Red Bull and vodka? That was a drink.
Red Bull and Jaeger, bro.
Red Bull and Jaeger. Whoa.
Yeah, that was mine.
Remember did you ever work at a job? Well, I worked at several retail jobs, and Red Bull, like college girls who were employed by Red Bull would come in with a backpack of Red Bull and just give them to the employees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, they showed up at a event here in Bentonville. Although it definitely wasn't like the big city Red Bull gals. Like I think one of them was pregnant. I don't know.
Right. Right. Is Red Bull safe to drink if you're pregnant?
In Arkansas.
Wow. Maybe it's encouraged.
Yeah.
You want to get pregnant? Maybe you should drink Red Bull. Wow, it's fertility.
What the Jaeger's for.
Well, we've said it all. The tour starts on July 5th, Dan. Are you pumped? Where are you scale of 1 to 10 right now? Because I think I might have to talk myself off the ledge. I think I might be at a 9 right now. I can't wait for this thing to start.
I am pumped. I love tour mornings, man. Waking up early. It gets me out of bed early. Drinking that coffee, get pumped up. If I play my cards right, I can usually ride before I have to start work. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Well, this is both of our tours in a long time not on the West Coast, too.
Yeah.
So our schedules are going to change a little bit here of how we're going to consume the tour. Is it going to be before work? Is it going to be on our phone on the sly at our jobs? Is it going to be in the car while driving, while the phone is on, like I've done many times?
I have the benefit of working remote, so I expect there's going to be a lot of tour on the big screen.
Okay, so you can put it on the big screen, have the laptop open.
Exactly.
Good way to go.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, the tour starts in a couple days. We're both pumped. We answered a lot of questions. We actually asked a lot more questions too, though.
Right.
Dan.
We did a lot considering we have a very obvious winner this year. So.
We're dancing around the obvious, aren't we? Dan, enjoy the tour. We're going to recap the stages as they go along as well, so everybody can join us on our journey through the tour. Dan, talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Patrick.